Hello and welcome back to Racing Through Radio. I'm your host, Sam Moore, and I'm here to talk to you all about what's happening over at Ransomville Speedway this past Friday night. And what a fantastic night at the track it was. After spending all summer talking about Halloween in July, I actually came to the realization that is not what we do at the track at all. That is in fact something I do for myself. Instead, at the track, we do Christmas in July, which in my family was just kind of always gag gifts you didn't expect the person to actually want, but might get a good laugh out of everybody else when they opened it. I'm not sure what they were doing for it on the grandstand side, but on the pit side, everything was decorated with beautiful Christmas lights and Christmas stockings. But to me, it was more than just snowflakes of dust and the joy of children receiving dirt track presents. This week was about family for me. With it being my cousin's memorial race, there was a to-do list of things to get done. With less of a focus on stats and interviews and the bread and butter of getting to watch the races, tonight was just about Chris Moore for me. Today just started with me walking around the pits with my dad, handing out memorial stickers to any driver who'd be willing to put one on their car. Mostly sportsmen, novice, modified. Some of our favorite street cars got some as well, but the stickers were small, nothing bigger than your hand, just big enough to see the name if you won. And every driver we talked to seemed more than interested to put it on their car, even if it was just for this week. It really just emphasized the beauty that is Ransomville Speedway community. Regardless of who won, Chris would end up in victory lane, one way or another. But getting to soak up that warm feeling was only momentary, as we had to get the car ready to go over to the grandstands. They let us park it over there for a little bit this week just to show it off and just to kind of bring more eyes to the memorial, which I thought was beautiful. But it was going to be a busy night for the Moore family racing car, considering we were running 2 series this week. Tyler Moore would be running the sportsman as we do every week, and Dustin Goron would slip into the car to run novice. Dustin is not only a family friend to us, more specifically Tyler, but used to drive novice here at the track before he got out of racing. But he would step back into his Ransomville Rebel race suit in order to get Chris out there on the track for a few more laps, and busy it was. With only one race between sportsman and novice, adjustments had to be made fast, especially with losing that little bit of time to the grandstands. Communication was going to be key if racing was going to end up as good as we wanted it to be. The car pulled out on the track for the sportsman feature, and Tyler took the lead. It wasn't to lead the race, but it was to show off the car and just truly what the memorial had worked towards. Things had finally came together, and it was beautiful. But when the sportsman race started, Derek Wagner and Dave DiPetro would bring out the green flag for the Chris Moore Memorial race. After a lap 4 caution slowed down the field, Wagner would continue to show in front of DiPetro, Dave Conant, AJ Custody, and Cameron Tuttle. McPherson would start to work his way up the field as 12th place starter and would be inside of top 5 by the race's halfway mark. Conant would catch DiPetro for 2nd place on lap 16, which I hope causes some workplace teasing considering these two are great friends and bully each other at work all the time from what I hear. McPherson would catch Conant for 3rd place on lap 19 while catching race leader Derek Wagner. McPherson would use the outside lane on the restart to take over the race lead as Wagner began to fall to the clutches of Cam Tuttle and Dave Conant. McPherson would go on to score in his 5th win for the season and his 16th in his career. We didn't end up winning the race, but we were able to finish it. And regardless of what happened, we did it as a family. At the end of the race, there was no anger, no animosity, no sadness, and we did everything we could to work together to figure out any problems we had. We had fun. But as the modifieds rolled out onto the track, the Moores had to be at work, making sure everything was in shape for the next time the car would hit the track.
Race fans, take a pit stop at the Thousand Islands Cruet for olive oils and vinegars that will bring the taste of victory right to your kitchen. Dress your salads, marinate your meats. Visit them online, thecruet.com. Ready to take your home from the pits to the winner's circle? Rendell Painting and Renovation Services has the crew that will get you there. One call does it all. 845-5544.
For the modifieds, Phil Vinegri and Steve Lewis Jr. would be on the front row, with Vinegri showing the way ahead of Matt Williamson, Gary Lindbergh, and Ryan Susi. Williamson would take over second and would battle Vinegri for several laps to take the lead. Williamson would take the top spot away on lap 5, with Lindbergh, Susi, and Lewis all racing within that top 5. Lindbergh would take over second place on lap 12 from Vinegri, and Williamson would encounter lap traffic. Ryan Susi would battle with Vinegri at the halfway mark for 3rd place. Susi would waste no time and catch up and battle Lindenberg for 2nd place. The caution would come out on lap 22 as Steve Lewis hit the lap 3 wall while battling for position with Noah Walker. The restart would see Williamson and Lindbergh in the front row, with Williamson in the lead. Williamson would drive away with his 5th win of the year and his 30th career win at Ransomville Speedway. Mike Kelly and Butch Zimmerman were on the front row of the Street Stocks main event, with Butcher Zimmerman in the lead. Brandon Sherwood would take away second from Mike Kelly and would go after Zimmerman for the lead. Sherwood would take the lead on lap 2, with Mike Welch coming into the runner-up position. Welch would then take the lead away from Sherwood on lap 9, as Joey Zimmerman spun into the 2, bringing out the caution on lap 10. Welch would lead the final 5 laps to pick up his 2nd career win at Ransomville Speedway for the season. Well, the Street Stocks technically ran first in the features, but hey, this is the order they're written on the website, so this is the order I am going to read them. I'm just a girl doing my best.
Failed start on your home improvement project? Brendel Painting and Remodeling Services are here. Let them take you to the finish line. One call does it all. 845-5544. Need a pit stop for flavor? Stop in to the Thousand Islands Cruet for olive oils and vinegars to marinate your meats and elevate your eats. Find your checkered flag flavor online at thecruet.com.
As we got ready for the novice, Dustin slipped into the car for the first time in a year, starting pole as he led the race side by side with Guy Steffen. I think this was the first time I really took in how many Blue Memorial shirts were in the crowd. Yeah, I remembered making a bunch of them, but actually taking the time to look out and see how many people had came together for this really got me. Half of us were on the front row, concrete in the pits, screaming excited, and the other half were in the stands. All of us were invested. As the race kicked off, Dustin gassed it into first, and Tyler Foster would take over second place with Kyle Teeter racing in third. Screams of excitement filled the pits, and I can only imagine how loud it was over on the grandstand side. Energy was high, as each caution was avoided by Dustin, and each restart left Foster and Pendowski and Teeter a little bit more at a distance. At the end of 15 laps, Dustin would park the car in victory lane, and we rushed out to the field to support. I don't think anything will quite get me the way Dustin pulling out Christopher's old bike pedal nameplate from racing as he got out of the car. He'd kept it in his race suit the whole time. For Dustin, the victory just wasn't about Dustin. It was about everything he could do to win it for Chris. To win it for the village surrounding him, in a sea of blue, cheering through teary eyes as he brought the car to victory lane for its first time. It turns out we didn't really need to take all that time to put those stickers on everybody else, because Dustin was going to deliver it himself. He'd go off to tech to make sure everything was good with the car and that everything was legal. With most people heading home, it was just family in the pits. Memories of Christopher were shared over drinks and happy laughter. Hugs and smiles were shared throughout the night. We had achieved all we could have asked for. It wasn't until now I had fully processed that I really hadn't done any interviews. I was so caught up in the moment of joy, that absolute wonder through the night, that everything had passed me by. Racers were pulling out one by one, and if I'm being honest, I didn't care at all. Yeah, McPherson would have been great to talk to. Williamson would have given me fantastic insight on his killer season. Even Dustin or Tyler could have told me exactly what this moment meant to them. But there was something about just sitting there and enjoying the moment with my family that I feel like a microphone would have just taken away from. Hearing stories of happiness and spending time together as a group, to me, that was priceless. And yeah, while recording it may have made the radio show extra fantastic, to me this night wasn't just about the radio show. It was about my family, about my cousin, about my aunt, about everything we felt. And I didn't want to take away from that. I wanted them to enjoy their night, and I wanted it to just be us. Anyways, enough being sappy. Next Friday night, we are off of racing. Both the Little R Thursday racers and the Friday night crew are getting the week to relax. So enjoy it. I'm going to go try to see a movie with some friends and just take some time away from the track. And I hope our friends at the track take the opportunity to do the same. The pits don't exactly open at 5 p.m. next week, and I won't see you at the track. I might not even see you Sunday. Who really knows? But regardless, if you're tuning in late, you missed any part of the episode, or maybe, who knows, you just can't get enough of re-listening to old episodes of Racing Through Radio, Monday, you can find the full episodes listed on the WLVL website, as well as our More Family Racing YouTube channel. Have a great week, you guys.